Oh, I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. I wish it was a slower kind of picture. It's just very quick blip.
But that's how fast these things go though, sometimes.
Oh, I totally understand. It's just a wish thing. I wish it was slower because it'd be really cool to see.
Yeah.
But it's nuts. You can like, it's such a small eruption in the grand scheme of compared to eruptions, but this thing is still massive. And the impact.
We can wander our way over, because this is Wandering Ways.
What's Bigfoot possibility? Clink.
Clink. Ha ha. Hi. Hey, welcome back.
How we doing? I think this is about Groundhogs Day when this is coming out. So we may have some more weeks of winter. We may not have some more weeks of winter.
I'm gonna, with climate change and all that hubbub, I'm gonna default on that we are going to have more winter because it feels like to me winter hits later now.
I get that, but honestly, it feels like winter just like will hit really hard and then it will like tease you with spring because like we've been getting 60-degree weather here in Oregon right now.
That's,
And then it's supposed to just get really cold again. So I think it's just like winter's gonna be that like really annoying neighbor that just keeps coming over and then leaving, coming over and then leaving.
that's what happens. Yeah. No, I think that's the problem with it's all out of whack right now. It should be like cold all the time, but it's not. It's kind of, and that's why you get those severities, I believe. It's crazy stuff happening.
Yeah, it is. It's also crazy that we trust a like a groundhog with our climate updates rather than scientists. But
Yeah. Well, there's some people that would think that groundhog knows more than them scientists.
he's been doing it a while, so you think he'd be pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I believe he's been wrong quite a bit.
Yo, yeah. I mean, he's only ever, I think it's like not see his shadow. I can't remember. It might be flip flopped. I always get him wrong, but he's only ever seen like not seen his shadow like 4 times ever.
Oh, well, that's gonna throw you off.
Yeah. Well, there was one that it was like 2 years ago. He saw it, he already didn't see his shadow, and everyone was like, see, even the groundhog knows climate change is real.
I mean, it's kind of scary.
Yeah, right.
It is affecting things. You are seeing it firsthand, kind of, and how just animals, they don't know what to do.
No, no.
It's not good.
And we're seeing like extremes of things, you know. I read today that a tornado hit down in Florida.
Wow.
Yeah, which is crazy. And then, you know, there's freaking volcanoes blowing up too.
Down there in the good land of Tonga. But the nice thing about the South Asian Pacific volcanoes is like they're supposed to be blowing up.
That is true. They are supposed to because they're active and there's new islands forming. So it's not like this was one of those where it's like letting off a lot of like anger. Like it was doing its job.
Well, did you see the pictures?
Oh, I've seen some pictures and stuff. It's been really. Have you seen any of the satellite?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Where it's like now there's 2 islands.
Oh, I wasn't even talking about like that part. I was talking about the literal eruption.
Oh, like the time lapse kind of
Yeah.
one? That's cool, yeah. But even just the like the fact that like it blew up and now there's like 2 islands.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, what they say about Hawaii, it's still forming, like where the volcanoes erupting and stuff. So like
Yeah.
the Big Island's going to continue to get bigger.
Well, it still is as it's producing lava as we speak because it's
Yeah.
still doing that as we're not there.
Yeah, that is true as well. And then the craziest part about the whole volcano thing is, you know, it causes because it was partially underwater. Actually, I believe most of it was underwater, which that causes tsunamis.
Yeah, no, and those are dangerous. I remember in 2004 that tsunami that hit Sri Lanka, and just the devastation it caused, because we don't think of like the tsunami and really the effect it has on those places. But when you're talking about ocean water rising to a certain amount of feet above sea level, and we don't think about that on land, like what really is at that level, and what can be covered in such a small time because of a big wave, and how these earthquakes and volcanoes trigger those. And it's just kind of crazy because not only is it one big wave, but they kind of keep coming back, and
Yeah.
devastation for a while. And especially in the modern society with all the like debris that we create, the garbage, the plastics, the metals, the glass, just that's gonna kill you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, even the one in like Japan in 2011 that they had, that
Yeah.
one was super like just annihilate. And then I mean, they had a bunch of the nuclear reactor had issues from. I think that was actually more from the earthquake than the tsunami, but tale of they were the same thing, earthquake then the tsunami.
Yeah, I mean, and when you combine them together, it just doesn't help. When Haiti and that earthquake hit them, uh,
Yeah.
just crazy how we think we have these big buildings and all these cool things we built, but Earth just shows us how we can just wipe it away like that.
So true. It's so the from the volcano though, the west coast here was on tsunami advisory.
Oh,
Yeah, and I think technically it was a 4 foot tsunami that hit.
oh, so just bigger waves that day, essentially.
Yeah, I mean it was enough. It was a big enough wave. Like if you were watching it, you're going like, "Holy shit! It's a rough day out on the beach." But it's not like holy cats. Like really, it's just like it's be like a really bad
Well,
storm.
your guys' big one is coming.
Well, that's what they keep telling me. That's why it's my third biggest fear.
Is it? It's up there, huh, for you?
Yeah, third biggest fear. They've been telling me since we were like, I don't know, like 4 inches tall. They're like, today could be the day. Today could be the day. The big one could hit today.
Just always worried, yeah, huh?
Yeah, because there's just nothing I can do. We used to have the tsunami drills, and it would take us 45 minutes to get to our safe spot. Like tsunamis, depending on where the earthquake hit, it could be 5 minutes. Like I'm toast.
Yeah, no, that is true. Sucks to suck, I guess, but
I'm more inland now, so I'm not gonna get hit as bad.
it's not up there. It's not. It's not as bad. It's not as high on your list.
No, it's a little bit mellowed out more now.
Well, that's good. No, that's good. We got the Yellowstone fear here, but like, we'll try.
Yeah. The
All you can do.
yeah. The crazy thing about the one back in like 2011 in Japan, so it messed up that nuclear reactor, and the bunch of radiation got into the ocean.
Mhm.
So they were afraid that the salmon from Alaska would get a bunch of this radiation. Because I mean, they found stuff washing up on the beach that had the radiation from that earthquake. I think they actually still do sometimes find stuff
Oh
from
yeah.
that earthquake. Um, but what was crazy is the salmon, they go out to the ocean, they live there anywhere from like 3 to 6 years out in the ocean, and then they come back. As of what I understand, they have not found a single fish that had any radiation on it. And so it is kind of like mind boggled scientists because they don't know where these fish go when they go to the ocean.
Oh, or if they're like radiation immune, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird that, like, you know, Japan and Alaska are in the grand scheme of things not that far away.
No, especially yeah, exactly. It's actually pretty close. That we don't. When you look at the World War II history of like Alaska and Japan, there
Yeah,
were battles going on up there.
yeah.
You know, it's kind of, we didn't even think about that.
That'd be a crazy place to have a battle.
Well, you know, with Russia and what they're doing with Ukraine right now, we might.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true. But I was talking more about like during World War II when the boats weren't as good and the like water up there is like typically rougher. Like that'd be
I
such a shitty place to battle.
Oh, it was, and it took like months. They said to take back just like one little island,
Yeah,
and then Japan just like fled.
I would too from Alaska.
No, I feel you, but we don't have to go worldwide today, Mark.
No, we do not because if you've read the title, you probably know what's happening. But we are talking today about U.S. destinations and specifically our top 5 wish list USA destinations. So this means where the hell do we want to go if we were only restrained to the USA, which in this world of COVID could totally happen.
Well, and you know, I guess Alaska falls into the USA, so we could, but it didn't make my list. I do want to go up there and spend some time, but you know, we were thinking top 5. And it's fun. And what I like about some of these top 5s is we don't talk to each other beforehand about them, and this is one of those times.
Yeah, I like it when we do it because it's a bit more of a surprise.
Yeah.
um,
It's a surprise for our viewers and a surprise for, you know, you and I.
Indeed. And before we hop into the top 5 wish list here, I want to make sure everybody, if you could please make sure you like, subscribe, and follow the podcast on all of the things, whether it's the Spotify, Apple, Google, if it's on YouTube, follow the Instagram account. Just please make sure you like, subscribe, comment. It helps the algorithms work and then it helps us out, which then hopefully will return into you getting helped out. So it's all just a continuing cycle of goodness. So please make sure you go out, like, comment, subscribe, follow, all that good stuff. Or if you can't do that, you just can't, share that with a friend.
Yeah, simple stuff, guys. It's, you know, and if you guys are like, hey, we want you to read, you know, I left you a review and I want you to read my top 5 you know, wish list for the US. You know, you could email us that list at wanderingwayspodcast@gmail.com, WANDERINGWAYSPODCAST@gmail.com. And you can just say, like, you know, I want to go to Yellowstone, haven't been there. Shout out to Delaney if she's listening, but she hit me up. She's like, you know, Zach, I heard you do a podcast and I want to go to Yellowstone. I was like, well, let me send you a link about, you know, how to do Yellowstone right. So we did that. It's been great. You know, guys, please, we really do appreciate it. It just takes 2 seconds of your day. And we want those 2 seconds. So please help us out.
Yes, for sure. Now that we got the fun stuff out of the way, let's start the top 5 wish list places in the US. So what's your number 5, my man?
I put Acadia National Park. And I kind of, you know, I have kind of that changing list. You know, you ask me tomorrow, this list could change. But like the reason I think Acadia is, we talk about it on the podcast, like how we plan a trip up there. I've heard good things. I believe it's very, I would call it the Olympic Park, and I haven't been there, but the Olympic Park of the New England coast, kind of. And I really want to get that experience because I really enjoy my experience in Olympics. So I want to get that up there. I want to do the sea stuff. I want to try lobster. I want to enjoy it and experience it for what it is.
100%. And actually, it makes my 5 too. So it's number 5 on my list as well, Acadia National Park. Partially because it's hilarious because I really want to go there, but these other 4 that I have on my list, I just would love even more to go to compared to Acadia. It was pretty hard to do a top 5. That's why I really realistically got like 10. But Acadia is one. Getting over to the East Coast, checking that out, checking out the the second largest ocean, which is the Atlantic, would be pretty cool. And then just that area in general, getting up high, seeing some views, getting in the forest there, because it's a different kind of forest.
Exactly. I think it has something great to offer. I think partly why it's number 5 is because the feasibility of it is like it is kind of opposite corner of where we're at. You know, we got to go New England from PNW kind of area to get there. I'm not saying it's hard to get there, but it's got to take some planning and some time.
I mean, unfortunately for me, most of mine have that involved is planning and time.
Well, everything does, and we go back to it, right? And it's kind of how you prioritize that. That's why for me, I can go into Yellowstone Park on like a weekendly basis because it's close to me. You know, I make that work. But yeah, I would love to take one of those weekends and go to like an Acadia and just experience it and live it and go to those small Maine towns and check out the New England area. Maybe get up into Canada like we talked about and seeing some of those places. Might as well.
Oh yeah, yeah. It'd be awesome. Get into Canada. Totally. Just well, the whole East Coast. I've never really been, so that's why it's on my 5 is to go check out the East Coast, all that fun jazz. Get into Canada, Toronto, all that would be a lot of fun. But I think the other 4 would be even more fun, which is why I went with that one. Which brings us to what is your number 4?
I went with Dry Tortugas National Park down there in Florida.
Okay.
And partly because I have seen quite a few people talk and post about this park and just like kind of it being kind of hard to get to. So in my mind, I'm like, if it's hard to get to, it must be worth it. As well as that, like there might not be as many people as expected. I do know that they do. I mean, it is a pretty popular park, but it's beautiful the way people hype it up, talk it up. You know, Sunny, when we have her on, she talks about Dry Tortugas and her trip down there, and I really want to get into just some parks like that are different. You know, it's fun to go to those warm ones too. And it's not all about staying in the snow or in the, like out the ocean, but you're in the warm ocean. It's nice. You know, going to Hawaii volcanoes is nice.
That is true. It's nice to sometimes switch it up, get in that little bit warmer weather, which is the opposite of mine. Mine is a bit more colder weather. My number 4 is, I don't know if there is a national park for this, but I know you can get there by staying in the country of the United States. So I made sure, but it's go up to the North Pole. I just want to get up to the North Pole and experience being at the North Pole or that Arctic Circle. So
you should go like the Alaska route, Nome kind of. I feel you. I want to get up there too. I do. I think getting up to like Nome, Alaska would be really cool, and seeing the polar bears in that area, and just being able to say, yeah, no, I've been to the Arctic Circle. I think that would be really cool.
yeah, the Arctic Circle would be nuts.
We just got to get more funding for this podcast.
We do. Maybe we'll adopt a polar bear.
There we go. He'll be our mascot. We'll tote him around. We'll keep him safe.
But yeah, so I want to get up, I guess not really North Pole, but more Arctic Circle. I want to get to the Arctic Circle because I think it would be cool to say, and then head down to Antarctica and do the same, but I think it's a different name from the Arctic Circle, but there's a circle.
Yeah, the Southern Circle.
It's something. I think it's like it has to do with Antarctic or something, but
probably.
Yeah.
No, I think that's good. Up there's a lot going on. I think right now in the Arctic, it is kind of a Wild West, a kind of new frontier, especially with climate change as ice caps are melting away and there's resources becoming more and more available. There's rare earth metals, there's rare gases and stuff like that going on. So it's going to be interesting because I think that too, it's tied into like Russia, they're up there. It's tied into China, they're up there doing stuff. So there's a lot of competition in this area, and it's I'm kind of what makes me think of that is like I'm watching that 1883 and Yellowstone series, and
Oh, okay.
and living here in Montana, but you really do see like the American frontier is gone. You know, the Wild West, there's fences, there's farms, there's ranches, like there is no true just like open land, no free land. You know, even the Yellowstone Park bison aren't wild. There's the cow guards that prevent them from going further into the state. And it's really it's just interesting because like there really are becoming less and less places like that. You know, I look at like Oregon and the open wilderness that it is, as well as that it isn't anymore, because those towns have surround, you know, the way those cities and roads, you just cut those forests off and they're just like in the middle of it all now. They're not as wild as they once were. They aren't as free, you know. You look at like the redwoods being 97% cut down, and it's just crazy that like there's not a lot of those places like that are left. And you look at like the
Small
Arctic.
world.
Well, and that's why going, I think, to these parks are nice, is it gives you a reminder of that, but it's like it's also going away. And I think that's partly why you want to go to the Arctic and Antarctica, because it is like there's nothing here other than nature.
Yeah.
And
No, when you get up far enough, there's no people. So no, then that is an appeal to it all. That's what there's still unknown out there, even on this planet. The whole ocean still there's a lot of unknown, even though the world is smaller.
mm,
Let's move on to our number three. Number three, with top three wish list destination in the United States. Zach.
it's North Cascades right now.
Oh, okay.
I want to get up in there. I want to go. You just I see great things. I hear great things. It's another one of those places that I think like it's going to start becoming a popular park as the more and more people go there, as numbers are showing it's going that way. So I kind of want to get there before that. Um, and yeah, if it's a glacier, I love glaciers, so why not? You know, go experience more of that kind of stuff in the Cascades, which are a completely different type of mountain. It is interesting. You really do feel the mountains when you're in them, especially the areas you're in them. Like you can tell when you're in like the Beartooths, Absarokas, and you can tell, you know, when you're in the like Glacier National Park mountains, and just like the way they are created and feel, and the way you move, you know, you hike over this ridge to that ridge. And the Cascades are, you know, they're those volcano mountains. So I'm really interested to get up into the glacier aspect of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Cascades. It'd be cool to get up in the Cascades because it does have, that distinct mountain. It's a different mountain. You think mountains are mountains, but this is a distinct, as I think all mountain ranges have their distinctness to them.
You just need to get more free weekends to where it's like we're just gonna go to these places for like a 3-4 day weekend.
I would love that. I would love that too. But my number three is not Cascades.
No?
No,
Why
Cascades.
not?
Cascades didn't fit my number three because I put Denali
Oh,
as
fantastic.
number three.
Fantastic.
Yep, I want to go up to Denali. I really badly want to go to Denali. I think it'd be really cool.
I don't blame you.
I want to see that big old mountain. I keep seeing pictures of that prairie with the mountain, and I want my own picture of that.
Yeah, no, I agree. I need to go. You need to go see it for your own eyes, kind of thing.
Yeah. I've been Denali's been on my list for a while. So Alaska is just cool. I could go hang out in Alaska as long as I'm not working.
That's the problem, man. Is you keep picking up these extra shifts and these.
Oh, I meant working like fishing up in Alaska type deal.
Oh, I see what you meant. I just meant like you've been picking up these extra shifts. It's like, no, that's not how you get to Denali. Well, it is how you get to Denali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, um,
You know what that means? Time for another commercial break where we get to tell you to like, subscribe, and review our podcast. Whether you're getting that podcast on Spotify, iTunes, YouTube, WhatsApp, whatever podcast app you use, you can make it happen.
and don't forget, this is also the time to let you guys know that you can pick up that Wandering Ways swag at the Teespring. Make sure to check it out. The link is in the bio down below or in the episode description. It's even in the show description too if you can't find it in the episode. But you can go on there. You can get your sweatshirts. You can get your shirts. You can get long sleeves, short sleeves. You can even get some socks. It looks pretty cool. Highly recommend. You will be impressing everybody at your next bonfire with some Wandering Ways swag.
You know, and if that's not enough, we're going to tell you to follow us individually on our social medias. You could check me out at the Rugru or Zach of Wandering Ways. You know, check out the adventure firsthand where there might not be any ads.
Exactly. And who doesn't like some good free pub? I need the followers to go up. So I'm going to throw out Reverend Marcus. Check me out on the Twitter, on the Instagram. I do some cool stuff. So please give me the follow. All right.
We also do not cool stuff.
Yeah. But anyways, let's keep wandering on. I think it's time for my favorite part of the show. Cool shit in nature.
Well, good.
I get excited for these. Mainly because I get to watch them again. I find all these videos, I think they're cool, and I share them. This week we're jumping back to the volcano, and I got a bunch of them, and they're all volcano oriented. This first one comes from Instagram. It's a really cool account, and if you don't follow it, you should follow it. But this is the eruption itself. And
crazy that the volcano is underground, so it's like it's blowing up from like sea level.
yeah, right. That's what's nuts. And in grand scheme of things, like this is a small eruption.
Yeah, in which is kind of crazy because I know you're going to go there next, but like when you see the satellite footage,
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, let's see. This one's a picture.
Exactly, like for how little it is, how big it like is.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think the best one is this one. Yeah.
Look at the storm below it.
Oh, I know.
That's cool.
Yeah, this is a really cool one. I wish it was a slower kind of picture. It's just very quick blip.
But that's how fast these things go sometimes.
Oh, I totally understand. It's just a wish thing. I wish it was slower because it'd be really cool to see.
Yeah.
But it's nuts. You can like, it's such a small eruption in the grand scheme of compared to eruptions, but this thing is still massive. And the impact it has creating a tsunami as well.
Yeah. It's crazy.
It really is. It's gnarly.
They're fun to see. I mean, it's the earth creating itself in its own way, and it's crazy how much more there is to life that is going on, that we create society and culture and economy and trade and this and that, and we get so caught up in it that you forget about like that kind of stuff, that the fact that we are kind of living in nature and a part of nature, but we've just kind of civilized ourselves in our own way. And like these big things can just wipe it away in one second, but they also can like it's crazy. It's to me.
Could you imagine if you were there live, like watching that thing explode?
I mean, you'd probably be dead, but yeah.
I think if you were far enough away.
I mean, you see, I mean, there's some good documentaries on like the Mount St. Helens eruption on like Disney Plus and channels like Nat Geo and stuff like that. And you get like you get some of those like guys were there. Like there was people in a plane. There was a guy on like another mountain looking at it.
Yeah, we showed a picture of a guy on the other mountain.
Yeah, so there's some like interviews with those people, and I mean they still go back to that day, right? Like it's kind of interesting how simple our lives are
Yeah.
at the end of the day, because it's like you look at like what affects us, what makes us happy, what makes us sad. It really is simple things, and we just like try to over complicate them and over complex them. Because it is like, oh, go back to that day. Things forever changed because of that. And it's just like, oh, really? Like that little thing did that and it caused, this domino effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nuts. And even something like a volcano going off can do that.
Yeah, it is. It would be I would think it would be really cool to watch it like live. But continuing on back to the top 5 wish list. We're going in number 2. What is your number 2?
Socorro National Forest National Park, kind of.
For the cacti.
Yeah, I like the desert too. The desert is neat. I think because what would be a part of this trip would probably be like a Carlsbad Caverns in New Mexico as well. Like you try and do something like that as well. And I like a good desert theme. That's why it kind of ranks high on mine. I really want to get up in those cactuses. I really do. I think they're just so cool and neat.
Yeah, I agree with you. They are super cool. And having been to Joshua Tree, I think the park would be similar in like how instead of Joshua trees, they're cacti. And
Exactly.
so it would be really cool, I think, to check out that park. I often forget about that park because it's so far down there, but that would be a good one.
Yeah, and that one I went back and forth with that one. And we'll get into one of the parks when we talk honorable mention, kind of that I kind of went back and forth with this one because you kind of get those a similar experience. I like the desert. I do. There's something about it that I find fascinating. And I like Arizona. Arizona's kind of cool. New Mexico's cool. I really like, going down in the rock formations because I'm sure there's a lot of that as well down there.
Yeah, I'm sure. A lot of times it's, like Joshua Tree isn't just the trees.
Oh, I know.
There's a lot of other cool stuff. So I'm sure like saguaro is going to be similar. It's not just a cacti.
But I'm sure there's going to be some really cool shit as well that's like not advertised necessarily because it's not the main attraction or feature.
I could do an Arizona trip. Like start at Sedona, then head down to Saguaro.
Why not start like you would want to go? You would do Sedona, or you'd want to do like Grand Canyon?
Oh, you could start at Grand Canyon, but I'd want to do Sedona too.
You'd want to spend some time there and actually go hike and camp a little bit
and check out just Sedona, the town. I think I could fit in well there.
I feel you. No, I think that would be a good one. I would like to go back down there. Jack's out in Phoenix, so we got a place to stay.
That's true. That is true. My number 2, you've already said it. Yeah, it was your number 3. Cascades is my number 2. I really think it would be cool to do like some backcountry stuff there. That's most specifically what I want to do is just kind of get off into the backcountry because I think that's when it could be really cool. There's a lot of like these lakes that sit in around peaks, so you can get some great views of lakes and with like no people or less people, and just being out there in the middle. I think that could be a very cool moment. And I really want to get that moment. So that's why it's in Cascades number 2 for me.
Yeah, I need to have a little more bear scares, I think, like that with you. You know what I mean? Like, we haven't had quite enough of those where we really need to like humble ourselves a little bit with getting out into these places. So I feel like, yeah, we need to push ourselves to more of these places so we get that, like, fuck, what was that just brushed up against our tent?
Yeah. That's why you hang the hammock high enough.
Honestly.
Otherwise, you're just kind of a burrito.
Yeah, but I've seen bears climb.
Oh, well, me too.
I'm
not any safer.
if they wanted any of that, it's the will, right?
Yeah.
How much do they willingly want this?
Yeah, that's what it comes down to, is how much they really want it. But
I'm down. I mean, you just gotta, like, with the North Cascades for you and me, like, logically speaking here, and Wanderers, this is kind of me pushing Mark, is like, just find those 4 days that we can work this one in to the rotation, because I think this is one of those 4 dayers that we can bust out.
yeah, I think it could be for sure. It does have that kind of feel. But we were originally gonna do this summer, but things, there's been a change in the plans, which is all good things, and we're switching up the trip because I mean we've talked on the podcast about how Cascades is this summer, so we've had to switch, and that's why it's still remaining high on my list. Partially because I started looking and I got excited, and then had to switch up the plans.
Well, and I think we got you kind of partly too is your schedule and how you're coming in, and into Montana this summer, with you running that marathon. The fact that you're coming in early, and we
Yeah.
and you're headed east, so we're looking east, kind of, and it's different. But we'll make this one happen. I think this is one we want to get done sooner than later. This might be like a fall 2022, spring of the moment, kind of like, hey, we had some time, we went up here, we did it for you guys, our Wanderers. Woohoo!
That's an interesting call.
I know. Well, it's like Woodsy the Owl,
Woodsy the Owl. Give a hoot.
Woo-hoo, clean it up.
Before we hop into the number ones, let's give out, I know I have at least 2 honorable mentions that I want to get out that haven't been said today. There have been some that have been said. Tortugas was an honorable mention for me. But another honorable mention for me, again, I went really specific with destination like places for this one. And I want to like get into Bryce Canyon. We've only ever done the rim. I just want to get for destination places is into Bryce Canyon.
Springs right there too. Will be a trip. We'll go tomorrow.
Head out that way tomorrow.
I'll meet you there.
Okay, let's make it happen.
Hey, speaking of, okay, side story, guys. So every time me and Mark are like, we're like, this is probably the last time we're going to take 2 cars into a park together.
Yeah.
Every fucking time. And we're like, it'd be nice to have walkie-talkies.
Yes,
well,
walkie-talkies.
So I ordered a bunch of boxes for the Little Shell Shop. And the Little Shell Shop, I spent enough money on boxes that they give like stuff away. Well, they give them free walkie-talkies away at the price I spent. So we got some walkie-talkies for the parks when we're doing this stuff, because I have a little feeling that might happen again this summer.
That would be nice, having some walkie-talkies. You can be able, we don't have to like have someone like break with pop lights or like try and maneuver out the hand out the window. We can just be like, yo, Roger Rabbit, how you doing?
Yeah, we're going to go get lunch now. Yeah. Feel free to drive ahead, or We're going
Yeah.
like Matt and Bobby, like they missed out the moose and it's Swan Lake there because they wanted to get gas. Well, not they wanted to get gas and like sit down and talk to the like lady and get jerky, and we're like, we're good. We'll see you there.
Oh yeah, I was trying to remember why they were behind us.
Yeah.
Uh,
What was your other one? Yeah, I get Bryce Canyon. Yeah, it makes sense.
yeah, into Bryce Canyon, I really want to do. The other one was Costa Mesa, seeing the cliff dwellings.
Oh,
That would be
Mesa,
really cool.
is it the one in Colorado?
Is it Colorado or New Mexico?
Colorado, Mesa Verde, right?
Mesa Verde, sorry.
Yeah. I was like, ooh, but yeah, okay, yeah.
Mesa Verde,
Yeah.
seeing the cliff dwellings would be really cool.
Well, and I think you would really like the town of Durango, Colorado down there.
I really thought it was New Mexico.
There are some down there too,
Huh.
but it's up there in northern Colorado. The problem is Colorado doesn't have any tribes.
Oh.
So like, yeah, it's really interesting, the tribal history, because there are a lot of tribal people in like Denver even. It's interesting history there. My honorable mention is Big Bend down in Texas,
That'd be a good one.
and then the Hawaii parks that we haven't been to.
Oh yeah, I mean, the Hawaii parks would be pretty sweet.
Or like Samoa.
Yeah, actually, that'd be probably one I'd like to go to.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, no Bigfoots, sadly.
No Bigfoots.
But he might be vacationing.
You never know.
Yeah,
He's the world champion in hide and go seek, so you never know.
exactly. No, I like it. I like the honorable mentions. I want to get up to I always skip the name. I want Portage Falls in Michigan, the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Oh,
there's some good parks up there I really want to get into as well. I just need to I need
much about that area in general now that I really think about it.
There's a lot there that I think it's just there's more people in that area because
yeah,
that's where the East Coast would go to take vacation. Kind of was the Great Lake area.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting as things change because with pop culture you see like Montana and it blowing up with tourism and just travel and people moving here from different places. So
I saw a funny graph the other day. They did it by population. And they took the population of people that live in the city of New York. So New York City, right?
Yeah.
And they then compared it to a mass of land that would equal the same population. And it was basically all of Montana, Idaho, into probably all of the Dakotas too. Like there's just no people compared to it's New York City, so it's going to be a lot of people, but to put it into scale like that, like one, the whole state you live in doesn't add up to that city. And then two, like
the whole state barely adds up to 1 million.
Yeah.
There's like 23 million or whatever in New York.
Yeah, and so it's funny when you say it's blowing up, so that could be like an additional 20 people and you'd be like, whoa, it's crazy.
But it is crazy because like Bozeman's doubled in size.
Yeah.
Just the development, but you're exactly right where it isn't a lot, but for like this area, it's really interesting because this is the Wild West. It's still like where Thea lives, it's wild in the sense like you cut your hand off, you're getting the doctor up there.
Yeah.
You're not getting the surgeon on call or this or that. It's still remote. It's still, and it's interesting because we are getting a lot of New Yorkers. We are getting a lot of Californians, Texans, Louisianans moving up here because of just the industries, right? Like the oil industry is big in Billings, so that's why we're getting a lot of Texas and Louisiana people. Just because we have the 2 refineries in town and people work at them, and it's kind of nuts just to see how it changes, but like it's also interesting to see the people, like you can tell the out-of-staters, and you know, Montana is kind of interesting. I saw a billboard in Bozeman where it said, "Let's make Montana Bozeman again," or make Bozeman Montana again.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, and it's a Billings company, a Billings like t-shirt company, running the billboard in Bozeman off the interstate.
Interesting.
And it makes sense.
Yeah, it does. So continuing on, the top wish list destination. Where in the US does Zach want to go most right now?
Sequoia.
Sequoia.
Yeah,
That is hilarious because that's actually my number one too.
I kind of assumed, because of it wasn't in your honorable mention, you talk about it a lot. For me, part of it's because these trees, seeing the protection going into them for the fires. One, I want to get there sooner than later because these things can go away pretty soon.
Yeah.
Kings Canyon is something is nearby. I really want to check out. Plus, Yosemite is kind of in the area, so I think kind of like it would be one of those, and I think that's a good area to go to. It's an area I want to go to.
Hit Death Valley.
Yeah, all of it.
Because yeah, you could do a whole little trip. I mean, that was originally my plan when I went down to Arizona when we did that trip, is I was going to do Yosemite, Sequoia, Yosemite, Sequoia, Joshua Tree. I wasn't going to do Death Valley because I couldn't do Joshua Tree then, and I really wanted to do Joshua Tree.
When are you when are you free next, like to do something like that? Because I think that's maybe from your location it's more feasible for me to come out there and do it on like a couple day.
Oh, that you'd have to do it longer than that, because
5 or 6 days. Yeah,
you got just traveling down alone, that's a whole day.
So we got to do like 5 days. When you get 5 days, I'll come out there.
Yeah, because I'm assuming you'd want to start south and work north, right?
Probably would be best, huh?
Yeah. So you got to get down to LA, basically.
Well, you didn't have to go that far. I would say Sequoia, Kings Canyon, Yosemite.
Oh, so you'd go like if you're gonna go Sequoia and do a trip, you might as well hit Death Valley. Then you could like fly into you probably fly into Vegas, to be honest.
Well, let's do it. Sign me up.
Yeah. But going to Sequoia would be really, really cool. To see those massive ass trees. Just General Sherman alone would be worth it.
Yep. Just to experience it.
Yeah.
All of it. Every last bit.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to try and get that picture where you're just like a tiny little speck amongst all these trees.
I am a little worried because I know Sequoia is more populated and Yosemite is more like that area is a little more populated than like a redwoods. So I am interested to see it and be like, actually I felt this way in the redwoods, or I felt that way in the, where it's like I'm a little worried for the disappointment.
Oh,
I hyped it up a lot.
Yeah, that's valid. That is valid.
So I don't know. You guys, if you've been, let me know. Email us at the podcast. Because
yeah, the disappointment is valid. I don't think I will, just from the trees. I may be disappointed at how crowded it is, but just seeing those trees and knowing how I am with trees, like I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah. I feel you.
But there's a lot of, and then if you get up in the higher altitudes, I can't remember the tree, but it's in the same family, and it's like the oldest living organisms, because they've been around for like thousands of years, and they live up on the top of these peaks.
Oh wow.
And they look like dead, but they're alive.
We'll have to go check it out.
Yeah, no, Sequoia.
Like, I want to. Let's make these happen. All 5 of these.
Yeah, yeah, the question is time right now to make it a real reality. But I mean, we got stuff planned for the summer too, so we got plenty of trips as well, but hopefully more.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I think we got a lot in the kind of in the mix going. I think as things come on, there'll be those other opportunities that come up. I know I was talking to OBJ about getting out here because he's really wanting to get into some stuff and do some stuff. So I was like, we need to just, screw it. You come out on your own. If no one else wants to come with you, just do it on your own, and we'll come out here and we'll make it happen.
Yeah, right. But anyways, that is our top 5 wish list destinations. Hopefully we can make them happen sooner rather than later. But with that all being said, it is time to go into the final words. So, final words, my guy.
Hey guys, my final words for you are to kind of do this. And I know I've talked about this before, but like definitely go make your lists. Figure out those lists, understand them. They're going to only make you be a better person trying to plan what you want to do. When we write, like to me, I write these lists down and I see them and I'm like, Sequoia, I'm thinking like, okay, if I can get out to Oregon this time and Mark's free, we can get down there and do this, because I really want to go to these places and do these things. I think they're worth doing, and seeing. And I think when you start putting pen to paper, you do accomplish that a little bit better. Because you are starting that plan. It's not just a thought. And that's the other thing too, is you want to tell people, you want to show people these lists, you want to talk about these lists, because I can't read Mark's mind. I didn't, knowing that Sequoia is really up on his list and my list, it's more likely that I'll go to Sequoia with him. But like, I noticed that Sequoia wasn't, but if Matt had it on his, I could see where he would be more willing to put something like that more ahead on his trip, to where it's like, oh, I can go with both of them to these 2 places in this one year, because Mark really wanted to do that one and Matt wanted to do that one. So that's something too you guys can do. Tell your friends, talk to your friends, show them your list, build your list together, and then go on the adventures. All right, that's it, Reverend, your turn.
That's a good little thing to try and do with your friends or whoever you adventure with. Reverend's final words of wisdom. Stay beautiful, everybody. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate every single one of you and everything that you do. Please make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment, all that. Share it with a friend. It really, really helps it out. ELE, everybody. Everybody love everybody. Go out there, do something nice. Go out, get moving, get the body moving, do a little exercise, something like that, but do something nice. Go get the body moving and enjoy the day. If you're listening to this at night, hope you had a wonderful day. Hope it was everything you wanted and more. With that being said, though, peace out, everybody. Bye.